Good day and welcome to our class. Our topic for today is properties of whole number operations. So before we start with the properties of operations, let's have here the word problem. During the International Cleanup Day, groups of environmentalists gathered 15 kilograms, 79 kilograms, and 85 kilograms of garbage. How many kilograms of garbage were collected in all? So before we answer the question, okay, let's try mental math. So say for instance, I have the numbers 15 plus 79 plus 85. Take note that I can interchange 79 and 85. So I have 15 plus 85 plus 79. Take note that 15 plus 85 is equal to 100 plus 79. So I have now 179. So to answer the question from the previous example, so they collected 179 kilograms of garbage. Let's talk about the properties of addition. But before that, let's have these numbers. So we have 28 plus 54 plus 72. Take note that I can rearrange 54 and 72. So I have now 28 plus 72 plus 54. But 28 plus 72 will give me 100 plus 54. So the final answer is equal to 154. So this is the first property of addition. So this is commutative property. It states that changing the order of the addends does not change the sum. Let's try another property of addition. But before that, let's try to do the mental math of 84 plus 17 plus 83. But take note that I can group first 17 and 83. But 17 plus 83 will give me a sum of 100. So I have here 84 plus 100 or 184. From the example, I can say that I applied associative property. Associative property states that the grouping of the addends does not change the sum. Give me the sum of this number. Okay, so the answer is 185. Next, 0 plus 456. So the answer is equal to 456. So this property of addition is what we call identity property. It states that the sum of 0 and any number is the same number. Can you give me the product of these numbers in 10 seconds? So, I can rearrange, by the way, 7 and 2 to calculate the multiplication a little bit faster. So, I have 5 times 2 times 7, but 5 times 2 will give me 10 times 7, so I had 70. So, take note, I use here commutative property. In a commutative property, it states that changing the order of the factors does not affect the product. Let's move on to the properties of multiplication. So say for instance, I have 19 times 2 times 5. So what is the best way to multiply this? Okay, in order for me to calculate this one a little bit faster, I regroup 2 and 5. So I have 19 times 2 times 5. But I'll get the product of 2 and 5 first. So I have 19 times 10. So it means I have 190. Okay. So for this example, I can use the property of multiplication, which is associative property. Associative property states that changing the grouping of the factors does not change the product. Okay, give me the product of these numbers. 154. Correct. What about this number? 1 times 897. The product is 897. Observe in these two examples, the common factor is 1. So whenever we multiply a number, okay, any number to 1, the product is always that number. We call this property as identity property. Again, it states that the product of 1 and any number is the same number. Take note that 1 is the identity element in multiplication. Okay, give me the product of this number mentally. 56 times 0. So the answer is 0. Correct. Next, 0 times 356. The answer is still 0. Take note that the common factor on these two examples is 0. So, 0 property states that any number multiplied to 0 is 0. Give me the answer of this operation mentally. It's quite difficult, right? But I can show you a certain technique such that I'll regroup the common factor, which is actually 79. So I'll factor it out. So meaning to say I have 79 times, since I have here 19 plus 81. So take note that 19 plus 81 is equal to 100. So 79 times 100 is equal to 7,900. So that is why I can solve this one mentally. Okay? From this example, we can say this is actually distributed property over addition. Again, it states that the product of a number and the sum of two or more addends is equal to the sum of the products of a number and each of the addends. So, to give you example, let's try this. So, 8 times 11 plus 4. So, meaning to say, I'll distribute 8 to 11 as well as 8 to 4. So, I have now 8 times 11 plus 8 times 4. So, computing 8 times 11 plus 8 times 4, I have here 88 plus 32. So I have now 120. Let's move on to the next property. But before that, try to compute this one mentally. It's quite difficult, right? But then again, I can regroup the common factor, which is actually 75. I can put it outside such that I'll have now 75 as a common factor. So I have 75 times 29 minus 19, since the operation now is subtraction. But take note that 29 minus 19 is equal to 10. So I have 75 times 10, or 75 times 10 is equal to 750. This property of whole numbers is actually, guys, distributive property over subtraction. It states that the product of a number and the difference of two numbers is equal to the difference of the product of a number and minwen and all the product of a number and subtrahend. Say for instance, I have 8 times 17 minus 7. I'll distribute 8 to 17 as well as to 7. So I'll come up with 8 times 17 minus 8 times 7. So I'll come up with 136 minus 56, which is equal to 80. To summarize our discussion, so we have the properties of whole numbers. For additions, we have the following properties: commutative, associative, identity. For the multiplications, we have commutative, associative, identity, and zero property. So if we will combine the addition and multiplication, we have distributive property. Take note that we have two types of distributive property. So namely, distributive property over addition and distributive property over subtraction. This is Teacher Oni de Guzman saying thank you.